What is going on, guys, and welcome to something completely different. This is going to be a playthrough, or a completely blind playthrough of a visual novel by the name of The House in Fata Morgana. I know next to nothing about this game, actually, aside from it being a sort of Victorian Gothic horror visual novel. Hopefully, when I upload this, it won't be taken down, and I won't have my channel taken down, because I remember I've been kind of cautious about playing anything other than what I know is safe, or, to upload to YouTube, because of the whole incident with Grisai no Kijitsu, and with Front Wing apparently not wanting their game to get more exposure, so, that's on them, but, yeah. I guess if, hopefully nothing happens with this. I hope nothing happens with it. But yeah, I know, Chaos, why are you doing this? You have so many playthroughs on your plate right now. You have so many visual novels that you, are in the middle of playing. Well, not so many, but just really, really big projects like Fate Stay Night and Tsukihime. I did say once I finished those, I would move on to something else, and Karno Shoujo's on a bit of a hiatus, at the moment. But I guess my thought process with this is that if this gets enough attention, and if enough people like it, enough people want me to come back to it, then I will focus on this. Otherwise, this will just be something I occasionally come back to, I guess. But it's just something I wanted to check out, and just from seeing the pictures of it, and how graphic it is, and how just weird and strange it is, I really wanted to check it out. And I thought I might as well record it too, since this is the thing that I do. So, I guess you guys are going to be experiencing this for the first time along with me. And I also find that me doing blind playthroughs of really anything is more entertaining for me and the audience as well. So, I thought, why the fuck not? But anyways, enough stalling. Let's get into this shit. Let's enter the mansion. Again, my biggest fear with just doing anything new like this is just copyright bullshit, because it has happened before, and I don't have any, I don't doubt that it will probably happen again, so, I don't know. Hopefully it does not happen with this, but, yeah. So, black screen. Okay. There is a house. Indeed there is. There are many houses, actually. But this house is different. This house is haunted. That sits beyond dark, dense woods. Again, I'm not really sure what we're in for with this. Like the world fading into view after a dream. Oh. There's some music. Maybe I should shut up. I'll read this anyway. That old mansion appears before you. Why is that capitalized? Appears before you, the player. You, the idiot playing this game, without realizing it. You're an idiot for playing this game because you're probably going to have nightmares afterwards. And this music is not helping. You instinctively accept as truth the events unfolding before you. I guess if the game tells me that I do, then I guess I do. The house lives in perpetuity, an amalgam of myriad fates and generations. Music has a really depressing tone to it. I think it kind of sets the mood for the game. No one knows who first said. This is already creepy. That the mansion was cursed. Of course it was. This is just the typical Western haunted mansion thing, isn't it? A haunted mansion in the middle of the woods. Oh. Intro credits. Maybe I should shut up. Our Father, thou who art in heaven. Yep, who art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Have mercy on me, O Father. O Father, will you have mercy? God, I just feel so weird reading this. It's and cast their souls into eternal damnation. This really does a good job at setting the tone, I'll say that. I was looking down upon a corpse. Well, that is just the perfect way to start off this game. My own corpse. Even better. I was afflicted with great despair at the sight of it being dragged to the place of my crucifixion. Jesus Christ, well, this is just this is just happiness and rainbows, isn't it? My soul crumbled, and I was wholly extinguished. Indeed, I did once lose everything. However, as I faded into darkness everlasting, I heard a voice calling out to me, and so I vowed once more that no matter how long it may take, how great the obstacles that stand in my way, or what form you may assume, I shall come back for you. That I must return to that house. So I ask of you, please wait until this mutilated body arrives there once more. I don't mean to make this like comedic or anything, but it's just I can't help myself. I'm trying to like offset this somber, depressing tone that the game is like instantly just already has just from me starting to read it. Damn, is this going to be what the art's like for this game? It all looks like a watercolor painting. Your consciousness, wavering like a ship at sea, was slowly drawn back to the surface. Okay. With each new breath, feeling gradually return to your fingers. Alright, I just realized, why is your capitalized, though? Like, that's, maybe because he's referring to us, or the player? I don't know. Or the person, whoever the fuck he's talking about. Master. You could hear the pattering of rain from somewhere. Master? And the sound of a crackling fire. Wake up, Master. I'm assuming this is a woman talking, but I can't be too sure, so... creak, creak, creak. Wake up. When you came to, you were rocking back and forth in a rocking chair. Oh. It says, what is this? Oh, this is the menu. Huh. So if you, like, kind of scroll down this way, you can see the menu. That's pretty cool. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any voice acting for this game so far, but I don't want to speak too soon. I don't know. The room was dimly lit. Aside from the flickering of the fireplace, there was no other illumination. No light shone through the closed windows. There was only the pitter-patter of rain on the glass. It was as though the whole mansion had been enveloped in darkness. Oh, splendid. You have finally awoken. Someone called out to you. You were about to search the room, but that turned out to be unnecessary. The source of the voice was crouching beside the chair, looking up at you with emerald eyes. Oh, okay, it is a woman. I thought so. I thought it was a maid or something. Sure enough. Yeah, God. Why does this game make the women look so ugly? Like, I don't know if it's the art style or, like, does she have, like, greenish hair? Is that what that is? Like, I can't tell. Good morning, Master. I don't know what kind of voice they give her. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Oh, these are options. Oh. I completely forgot. This game has player choice. What a fucking concept. As per the usual, I'm going to save. No, obviously we should just not respond. I think the obvious choice is good morning. What is the matter? Are you still waking up? You seem rather drowsy. Might I give her a cheerful voice? I don't know. I don't want to give her like a... Oh, shit. Well, considering the tone of this game, maybe she should be like sort of monotone or something, or just melancholic. Maybe that's what I should be going for. Come now, you must gather yourself. Though I am glad to hear your voice. I have simply been waiting so long for this moment, tending to the mansion all by my lonesome, ensuring that it was ready for your return, whenever that time may be. Now that's going to be pretty annoying every time I just bring up the menu by sort of moving the cursor over the bottom right window.
When I caught sight of you through the window, my heart fluttered. The time has finally arrived.
Okay, so I can already tell like a few things from this. The master of, I guess, a mansion or something is in love with his servant or maid, and I'm supposing that's what's going on because he's talking about, oh, my heart fluttered, you know, like obviously this is some kind of a love story. You were perplexed. This woman who looked like a maid seemed to know you, but you had no memory of her.
What kind of herbal tea would you like to start your day with? I have some wonderful chamomile leaves, if you would like. Or perhaps your tastes have changed since we last met.
Oh, is this amnesia? Did we drink the amnesia potion?
Tell me, master, what would you like? I beg your pardon. I allowed myself to get too excited. But I hope you will be sympathetic, master. I am just utterly elated that I could see you again.
The woman appeared to be genuinely delighted that you had awoken, but she seemed to lack the energy typical of her age. How old is she? I can't really tell. I want to say she's in her 20s. Or perhaps life was a more appropriate word than energy. She looks dead. Like, she's just so fucking pale. But I'm pretty sure it's just because of the art style of this game. Like, everybody's probably going to look pale, like a ghost. But the gloom extended beyond the maid. It seemed to encompass the entire mansion. The plaster walls illuminated by the fireplace and the rose engravings in the ebony pillars felt vaguely familiar. But a crushing sense of claustrophobia overpowered that familiarity. It seemed as though the house wasn't interested in accepting you just yet.
Oh my, you do not know who I am? Do you not know who you are either? This is quite the predicament. If you cannot remember who you are, then who am I to serve?
The woman's face was pale, almost as though a faint chill ran down your spine.
You are the master of this house, though it would seem you have no memories of such. Quite the dilemma. If you know not who you are, then you are no different than a stranger to me, no? Indeed, you have returned. But from where? That I cannot say. Then how about this? I am a servant of this mansion, and as such, I'm familiar with the many incidents that have taken place here.
Oh, I get it. So she's going to be telling us, like, what's happened in this mansion, and that's going to be, like, the entirety of this game, is we're going to find out what has taken place here. Because I did hear this was kind of like a collection of, sort of like short stories, involving different characters that have inhabited the mansion.
I shall show you the history of this house, master. That will surely allow you to recall who you are.
The freshly awakened gears in your head began to turn as you mulled things over. The maid has called you the master of this house, but without a single mirror in the room, you had no way of seeing what you looked like. Unable to decide, you reflexively nodded. So let me guess, his true identity is going to be some kind of a plot twist, right?
Let us be off then, and fear not. I merely entreat that you not let go of my hand.
It's probably going to be another twist what the maid's identity is as well, I'm pretty sure.
Should you hold it tightly, you need not worry about being washed away by the waves of history. No matter what happens, you mustn't let go of my hand.
Uh-oh. Your hand in hers, you followed the maid's lead through the hall. The air within the mansion was oppressive, as though a black miasma hovered within. The house was bleak and barren, hardly a trace of color to be found. You came across an open window. Beyond it lay nothing but darkness. Neither sunlight nor moonlight could be seen. There was no chirping birds, no rustling grass, no signs of life at all. Everything that would normally give color to the world had vanished entirely. The only other presence was that of the maid. Following her lead, you proceeded through the mansion. Everything's black and white. After some time, you arrived at a double door, the glass within shattered. The door, once pure white, had long since faded into a dull gray. It appeared to lead to the black garden. You could hear children laughing on the other side. Dead children.
Though it is the state you now see it, a beautiful, beautiful garden once lay beyond these doors. The owner of the time enjoyed gathering rare species of rose from all across the world. At its grandest, it seemed every flower was in constant competition for the most majestic bloom. Would you like to see this wonderful era of splendor and prosperity? I very much hope it is to your liking, master.
Probably not. The maid opened the doors to the black garden.
A sudden gust of wind brushed across your face, forcing you to close your eyes as you followed the maid out the doors. When you next opened your eyes, the world was no longer blanketed in shadows. And now we're going back to the past. Back to the past. So, I have a few predictions for how this game is going to turn out. I think that this is going to be like all happy and like happiness and sunshine and rainbows, and then it's going to like slowly descend into some horrific gothic, nightmare or something. Move the cursor to the bottom right corner of the screen to display the in-game menu. Yeah, I know about that. But yeah, I think it's just going to slowly sort of descend into something horrific and terrible. At least I'm pretty sure. The mansion had an alluring air of beauty about it in that era. It was almost like something out of a fairy tale. This period of history could perhaps be described as a symphony of destruction, as cumbersome principles of old came crashing down. Freed from the day-to-day oppression of these antiquated precepts, the people seemed to hark back to the more poetic, expressive ways of old. They took these newly blossoming emotions in hand, and with them they wrote literature, painted portraits, composed theater, and found love. Even the church, which had maintained authority throughout the Middle Ages, embraced the changing times, adopting the culture's flowering sense of aesthetic. War would break out not 20 years from then, plucking the ripened era from the tree of history, but this is of no concern to us now. At the time, it was still what people referred to as the Golden Age, a period of fur for all those who were there. No. This is way too fucking happy. This music is fucking weird. Like, it's just really weird. I got the soundtrack with this on Steam, by the way, so I've got this soundtrack. It's God, this is just too... It's so cheery and strange. Like, it's like there's children clapping and fucking... Like, I don't know. It's, like, just with the knowledge that this is going to turn into something fucking terrible later on, this is... I don't know, I guess that's the point, is like, oh, let's just drown you in happiness before just shitting all over you, pretty much. Now, let us take a slight detour. No, we will not be changing locations. This is a tale about the mansion, from beginning to end. We will, however, be moving through time. Say, about 8 years into the past. A very wealthy family lived in the house then. The mother and father, brother and sister all had distinctive, beautiful flaxen hair. I was always enamored by their hair. By contrast, mine is the color of a wet cow, or a wet crow, a wet cow. See, there I am, standing around looking rather a fool. I was happy back then, and what reasons did I have not to be, afforded the opportunity to attend such a beautiful home? So I poured my heart into serving that family. Oh, okay, so this is from the perspective of the maid. Listen closely if you would. That soft, fleeting sound that could only be a young girl singing. Can you hear it? I can hear it pretty fucking loudly. La 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 la. God damn it. The art makes all these characters look fucking horrifying. Like, the girl looks fucking just really creepy. Jesus Christ. She just looks really creepy looking. Just the way she's designed, I guess. The girl you see, cheerfully picking crimson roses and singing like a songbird, was called Nellie. Though young, she sang with elegance. Nellie was deeply fond of the house's garden, and she would often spend her afternoons there. Gorgeous roses gathered from all across the world bloomed in the garden. They were given the utmost care, and even had their thorns removed, so young Nellie would not hurt herself, naturally. The light brown-haired girl carefully picked petals from the roses, gathering them up as she sang. Her voice was like music played by fairies. Nay, the sight of her was like an angel descended from heaven. To me, she looks more like a fucking demon wearing a human skin or something. I know that's kind of harsh, but just her face. Like, I think it's just her face. She looks fucking creepy. Oh dear, please do not look at me like that. I admit I was being rather fanciful. But when is a woman not fanciful? Hee. I don't know if I should be reading this in the maid's voice or just my normal voice.
Little bird, singing night and day. For your little birdie heart, sing your woes away. Pretty flowers all around the little birds, and even when the sun comes up. Oh, dearest Mel, I've forgotten what comes next. Are you listening?
Oh, whoops, that was a guy. At least I think it's a guy. Nellie was, as a matter of fact, not the only visitor to the Rose Garden that day. She always came with her older brother, Mel. The young siblings were inseparable. Mel adored his little sister, who in turn pined for his attention. The sight of the two innocent children cuddling together, not yet shackled by fear of the future, was truly heartwarming. That day, Mel was sitting in the shade of a tree reading a book. As I am sure you are aware, in their time, books could not yet be mass-produced. What he was reading had been copied by a scribe. I presume he had borrowed it from the church. The book, having passed through many hands over many years, was visibly worn, but I suppose that just speaks to its importance. It was, in fact, a Latin grammar textbook he was reading. Mel was a clever boy. He had attended church from a very young age, where a priest would instruct him in Latin grammar. And also instruct him how to better serve the Lord and Savior Jesus. So at that time, I believe he was capable of reading even advanced text.
Oh, dearest Mel, please.
Damn it, that was the girl. I keep fucking that up. It doesn't really help when there isn't any voice acting. The young girl approached her brother, who was consumed by the text. Although I'm pretty sure this was made with a low budget, so they can't afford voice acting. In her hand, she carried a large pile of rose petals. Though his sister's shadow overlapped with the trees, the boy still did not notice. So Nellie puffed her cheeks, thrust out her slender arms, and let the petals fall. Ah!
Look, your head is covered in roses, Mel.
Oh, Nellie, you got petals on the book. Oh, Nellie. This isn't mine. I can't afford to let it get dirty.
It's your fault, dearest Mel. I tried to get your attention. And besides, flowers won't get a book dirty.
I must raise the white flag.
When did my little lady find herself such a sharp wit? While waiting for you, dearest Mel. I waited, and you didn't so much as glance at me. I'll be an adult by the time you're done reading that book.
Wow, that soon?
That soon. Mother says girls grow up fast.
She may be right. I don't know what kind of voice to give this guy. I mean, maybe like a dignified aristocrat, something like that. I just don't know what they would really sound like. I don't know. Let's try it. In that case, we should do something together before you're all grown up. Something like that. Yeah, there we go. Surely you won't play with me any longer when you become an adult.
That's not true. I'll still play with you even when I'm grown up.
But grown-ups don't play, Nellie.
Fine, I'll stay a child forever then.
I'll go off with Peter Pan to Neverland. Didn't you just say you were about to grow up?
Yeah. You're so mean, Mel.
Aha, I'm sorry. Please don't pout, my little lady. How about this? To make it up to you, I'll play whatever you want today.
Really? Do you mean it? I want to play make-believe.
Make-believe?
Make-believe. I will be a princess taken captive by an evil kingdom, and you, dearest Mel, will be my valiant knight. And then you turn into a prince when you rescue me.
A knight can become a prince. Impressive.
They can. Knights and princes both have to be charming, so of course they can. Which is why that must be you, dearest Mel. No one else can be my prince or my knight.
I don't like the implications of this. Incest. While he may have appeared outwardly embarrassed as his rose-cheeked sister proclaimed prattningly, I am certain he was smiling on the inside. After a few moments, he meekly knelt, bringing himself to eye level with Nellie and gently stroking her soft hair. Alright then. You are my princess, Nellie.
And not just anyone's princess, dearest Mel, but yours alone. So, don't be anyone else's prince but mine, okay?
Nellie. Jeez, my princess is quite the fauna.
Is that bad? Does that make you dislike me?
Not at all. I'm proud to have you as my sister, Nellie. You mean more to me than anything in the world, my dear princess.
I love you, dearest Mel.
Ugh, please just be in a sibling way. Please.
You'll always be my prince, forever and ever.
Her mood quite improved. Nellie began humming the melody of the song she had forgotten the lyrics to. Holding the skirt of her dress out from her body, the young girl pranced about the rose garden. Mel, his eyes on her back, gave a little shrug. Oh, Nellie, don't come crying to me if you trip running like that. But Mel was not entirely disapproving of his sister's excitement. He carefully brushed aside the petals on his book, set it in the shade of the tree, and began chasing after Nellie. They were picturesque siblings, brimming with hope, and at this time in their lives, there was nothing to jeopardize that hope.
Would it not be wonderful if children could stay children forever, Master? As I see it, though, the pleasant, gentle times in our lives have value because they come to an end. Wouldn't you agree? Time continues to flow, impartial and without exception. And as such, everyone's childhood comes to an end. But be that as it may, does time also flow at the same speed for each individual? Hehehe. Now, let us take a trip down the river of time. Again. I would be very much delighted if we could remain at this point in time, but unfortunately we cannot. Please, do not let go of my hand, Master. And things shall get progressively more and more depressing. I'm pretty sure. Da-da-dum. Black screen. Now we're in a church. Oh, they're older now. I'll be on my way then. Oh, you usually stay for longer. Yes, I have an errand to run today. Thank you for your time as always. Would you like the book back sometime next week? Next week or the week after. Hold on to it as long as you like. I have no idea what kind of voice to give the priest. But surely there are others who would want to use it. Not as sharp as you, Mel. Put yourself in my shoes and you'll understand. I want to give you any advantage you can get. Oh, do you not believe me? No, I believe you, Father. Oh, his father's the priest. And I mean to do whatever I can not to disappoint you. Why the fuck did... Man, his eyes, just everything about him, like, all the characters in this look like they're fucking demons. They don't look human. That's the spirit. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. I'm proud to have you as my pupil. And, yes, and Mel, do consider what we were talking about. Going to university? Indeed. You shall go to Oxford to study the feminist literature. Become a white knight social justice warrior. If you do, I can introduce you to some accomplished instructors. There is very little left for me to teach you, and I believe you would make a fine priest. It's an honorable thing, Mel, to devote yourself to the service of our Lord. Come on, he's gotta have better things to do than to do that. I mean... Think of all the things you could do for humanity rather than just being a fucking priest. You know, like, I have a degree in theology, that's so impressive. You know, why don't you just fucking be a scientist or something to help humanity progress instead of regress? You know, that's what the fucking Dark Ages were all about, was the religious inquisition and all that bullshit. I'll give it some thought, and I've decided I probably won't do it. If you'll excuse me then. I'll see you again. Our doors are always open. Just not for those atheists. Farewell. And I do love how everything kind of looks like a watercolor painting. Whether it's in the service of God or the service of the church, it is an honorable profession. No, not really. But theology. I wouldn't mind attending university, but I'm not sure. I'd kind of like to do something different, something more befitting of the times. As for what, though, I'm stumped. But I need to make up my mind soon. If I drag my feet for too long, even my father is liable to grow impatient. Mercy me! Young sire! Blessed young sire! Alms! Alms for the poor! Ah, this beggar. If I'm not mistaken, he's been outside the church since last week? Alms! Can I get some change? Change! The way he shakes his head. I can get a glimpse of his forehead under his hood. He's completely bald. My God, how horrifying. Bald people. Buy yourself some bread with this, peasant. Thank you very much. May the Lord bless your soul. Thanks. The Lord. Oh no! Nellie's going to be cross if I don't hurry home. Curses! And it looks like it's going to rain. Master. Oh, yeah. Okay, that wasn't... It wasn't... No. Master? Oh, thank goodness. You appear to have a firm grasp on your consciousness. I was afraid you would accidentally let go of my hand. Hee. Now, Master, this is the period of time I truly wish to show you. The boy reading in the rose garden was now a fine young man. Nonetheless, he still bore the same gentle eyes as before. Gentle eyes, sure. And he would from time to time show remnants of that innocent young boy. He was, in his own mind, still making the transition into adulthood, I suspect. Mel frequently visited the church on Sundays to participate in Mass, of course, but more often to be tutored by the priest. In addition, he also attended a private school run by an eminent Marquise? I think it was Marquise. Though it was not a school where students had desks and sat in rows. They studied at the Marquise's estate. Secondary and higher education was not the same as it is today. As Mel was considering university, the priest wanted to recruit him to the church, and Mel was having difficulty deciding what he should do. That he had such a choice is envious, is it not?
I want to say these are like real pictures, but just had like a watercolor filter put over them or something, because it looks like that's what it is.
Good afternoon. I am here to pick up my order. Is it ready?
Aye, ready and waiting, young Master Rhodes. I don't know why I went with that voice. I think it's just how he talks. It's like, aye, ready and waiting, I'm a pirate.
Oh, don't call me young master, please.
I beg your pardon. Granny, kinda seem to get me head out of the past. Your order's right here, sir.
Mel had stopped at a jewelry store in the center of town on his way back from the church. The building was both a workshop and a storefront, and the nobles of the area were deeply fond of the master's wares. He was so skilled, even the royal family had commissioned work from him. As a matter of fact, the wooden sign out front was engraved with a replica of a piece of his jewelry said to be on display in the palace. As artistry flourished in this golden age, the number of shops selling luxurious items such as jewelry rose in kind. However, the clientele of these shops comprised a very narrow range of people.
May I have a look? Of course, of course.
Ellipsis. Good, it came out just as I hoped. Splendid work.
Can't I afford to disappoint a loyal customer like yourself?
An admirable work ethic. I'm sure she'll love it.
Such a kind lad, young master. My boy back home could do well to learn a thing or two from you. Every man ought to show women some cordiality. Coming home to a cold fireplace is a sad thing indeed.
Again, please don't call me young master.
My apologies.
I'll take this and be on my way then.
Good day. If you find yourself in need of aught else, just let me know. I can make any jewelry you ask for. Come to me and your sweetheart's day will be sure as made. And I guarantee the two of you will have all sorts of fun when you give it to her.
Please don't have I don't have a sweetheart.
Well, we all know you're fucking your sister. Well, that's a surprise. I'm sure many girls are vying for your hand, young Master Rhodes, or Mr. Rhodes. A fine family, good looks, charming, and your future's all but...
I'll be on my way then. I'm in a bit of a hurry.
Good day, come by again anytime.
I have no idea where I was going with that. Goodness. Maybe I'll say I want to study abroad or something. Patient as my father may be, that would certainly anger him. I can hear it now. You are wasting your God-given talents, boy. I could renounce my name and rank and go somewhere far away. That sounds like the kind of plan Nellie would come up with.
Yep, sounds like some bullshit fairy tale. And these transitions. I can kind of guess as to how they made this game. It seems like it just seems like it was rather simple to kind of put this all together, at least from what I can see. Except for maybe like the art, because, you know, it was actually, this is actual art from a professional artist. Although these backgrounds, though, it looks like they were like real pictures, just with like a filter sort of thrown over it. So I'll be honest, I'm not too impressed by that. I do like the music, and the music is really kind of strange and haunting, and the art is really good, but just the backgrounds are sort of meh. As he drew closer to the mansion, the rich fragrance of roses grew more prominent. Over time, this distinctive scent had led visitors to refer to the house as Rose Manor. It was also probably a play on the flaxen-haired family's last name, Rhodes, which you heard the owner of the jewelry store say just moments earlier. The mansion looked quite different than it does now, no? The thickness of ivy covering the walls and no rotten broken doors to be found. I wonder what the Rhodes family would think if they saw the house in its present tragic condition. The sight of their abundantly blooming roses, a veritable symbol of prosperity, long since withered and turned into soil. My apologies, I got a little sentimental there.
let us forget for a moment about our own time. I suppose I stayed out a little too long. Oh well, the sun still shines high in the sky. I'm sure it's...
Oh, God.
Dearest Mel, what took you so long? Wherever have you been? I've been waiting forever.
Nelly, you're not in the house.
Nope, you were taking so long I decided to wait by the gate. But you didn't even notice me at all. You didn't notice me, senpai? Is that any way to treat a lady? All that studying's got your head stuck up in the clouds.
No, it hasn't really. Also, you're heavy. Could you please get off my back?
Heavy? I've been gradually reducing the amount of sweets I eat, and I love sweets, to maintain my figure for a new dress, and you call me heavy?
I didn't catch that. Were you saying a tongue twister?
You're such a dimwit, Mel. Jerk, blockhead, weakling.
And obnoxious to boot. Whatever happened to the delightful little girl who was once my sister? She'd probably thrown a fit if I said that out loud. Should you really be outside, Nelly? You are the star of today's event.
Whatever that's gonna be.
It's fine. They can call it a birthday party, but I know it's just about fraternizing. It's obvious what Father's true motives are. He'll be gathering a bunch of boys from good families to look for someone to marry me off to. I have no interest in that at all.
Don't be like that, Nelly. They're all here for you. At least enjoy what you can of the party.
Yeah. I guess, and besides, it's not completely terrible. Look at this, dearest Nell. What do you think?
What do I think? About what?
About what? Me?
Oh.
Nell.
Okay.
My new dress. It arrived. I'm wearing it. How could you not notice?
I did not note. I did notice it was something I hadn't seen before, but you have so many dresses, Nelly, so...
But this is the dress I made just for today.
And this is just... I know this is already going the ancestor route, but it's given me so much like Jaime Cersei vibes from fucking Game of Thrones, because just how they interact with each other.
Look at the colors. They're so pretty. It's the work of a renowned dyer. And this belt is just lovely. You see how it comes together to form a butterfly? Oh, I'm just absolutely in love with it. I think I'll be wearing this dress for a while to come. So tell me, what do you think? Does it look good on me?
Yes, it does. It's pretty. In some ways, I guess she is still a delightful little girl.
Oh, dearest Mel, I love you.
Not again.
Whoa, don't jump on me like that.
Oh my, you've dropped something. And what do we have here?
Wait, hold on. No, you can't have that yet.
Is it a present?
Give it back. I was going to give that to you later.
I knew it. It's for me. And just what could it be?
Hey, don't open it.
Oh no, is he gonna do what I think he's gonna do? No, dude, no, she's your sister. Oh.
What's the big deal? It's going to be mine soon anyway, isn't it?
Oh no, I don't like where this is going.
Oh, I love it. A rose necklace.
Oh, okay, I thought it was like a ring or something.
And this design, it's from the jeweler the royal family uses. Oh my, dearest Mel, you had this made just for me.
Oh geez. It defeats the purpose if you open it before the party.
Happiness is always better sooner rather than later, Mel. I think I'll put it on right away. There, how does it look?
It looks lovely.
My prince is the sweetest in all the land.
Don't make such weird noises.
Yeah, what the fuck was that about?
Oh, but why not? A prince always knows exactly what his princess wants. And this princess wanted some rose jewelry to go with her new dress. Understand?
Jeez, I sure don't have it easy playing your prince, Nelly. It might just be about time you found a new one.
A prince is a prince because you can't just find one standing on the street corner. If you want to retire, Mel, you're going to have to wait another 10 years.
Oh, no. That's a long time.
Or if you find yourself a new princess.
I'm not so...
You're about as romantic as a rock, dearest Mel. But worry not, your adorable sister will always be your princess. What more could you want?
And soon I will be your queen.
They call me Queen Cersei.
Are you really allowed to be the judge of that?
I mean more to you than any other girl in the world, do I not? That makes me your perfect princess.
So I'm guessing if he gets involved with any other girl, she's probably gonna go like yandere mode and just kill them. I'm afraid.
Hey, what was with that laugh? And it'll be over soon. Laugh. What? You're always telling me I mean more than anyone to you.
Yes, you do. More than anyone in the world, my beloved baby sister.
Don't call her that. Ew. I'll take good care of the necklace. Thank you, my dearest Mel.
Well, if you're happy with it, then so am I. You're very welcome. Now, back to the house with you. Can't have a party without the guest of honor. Do you know if anyone is here yet?
Nope. I imagine they'll be here soon, though.
Oh, shit.
Were you down at the church again today, Mel?
It's where I spend most of my time, praying to Jesus. Yeah, there was something I didn't know how to translate, so I went to look it up.
Wow, so diligent. I can't say I really like the priest there, personally.
Actually, I kind of feel the same way. It kind of seems like he molests children.
What? Really? Why?
Well, you know. I have my reasons.
So even you don't like the priest, huh? Let's skip mass on Sunday, then. We can go play.
No skipping church. It's required. It's required to be molested by the creepy priest. As grew the brother, so too did the sister. That day, Nellie would be turning 14. Oh, God. She really doesn't look it. And Mel, 3 years his senior, was 17. Or 3 years her senior. You saw it with your own eyes, so you know just how much she has changed. She was always a cute little girl, and she grew into an even more beautiful young woman. Though she was only 14, she was well on her way to becoming a fine lady. As for her character, well... but a girl like that has her own charms, would you not say? Drifting down the river of time, the two siblings matured into healthy young adults, but the core of their relationship did not change in the slightest. Oh... yeah. So, great, the first little story we have here is an incest story. Good job, this is really setting a really great tone for the game. Nellie was very much attached to her brother, and as much as Mel complained, he still cared deeply for his sister. Around the time the sun had begun to set, carriages started lining up outside as the well-dressed aristocrats made their way into the house. As Nellie had suspected, the majority of them were boys. Further down the river of time? Or maybe not. Yes, I understand. You don't need to say anything more. Rose Manor, right? Okay, we'll go together. Who the fuck is this guy? Me? Alone? No, please don't make me. The inhabitants of Rose Manor are surely living quite contented lives, and I'm sure they don't remember a thing. The fuck? The room with the fireplace was always kept in pristine condition so they could entertain guests at any time. Walls colorfully decorated with tapestries and stained glass windows gave testament to their great fortune. The servants' first assignment every morning was to clean this room. Pitchers, silver plates, and silverware were polished to a shine so they could be proudly put to use at a moment's notice. And for events like their daughter's birthday, the room served an even more important role. I'm guessing something like really tragic is going to happen on her birthday. I'm pretty sure that's where this is going. The table's tops were removable, so they had ordered new tabletops with designs made especially for this occasion. And once the banquet had drawn to a close, tables speckled with half-empty wine glasses and leftover candied fruits were moved off to the side to make room for, of course, the festivities. The festivities. Good evening, Lady Nellie. You're looking particularly lovely today. Nellie, I had the jewels cut just for you. Or these jewels. You'll let me have this dance, won't you? Just says other. I don't care about any of you. What's the matter, Nellie? You look exhausted. These are pretty good. Want one? I know you like sweets. They're apples candied and rock sugar, I think.
You disappoint me, dearest Mel. What do you think is the matter? They just keep coming. It never ends. It's driving me up the wall. Everyone's just repeating the same lines they've been taught. They all think pretty jewels and requests to dance are enough to make a girl swoon.
But I think that is true for you, Nelly. Though, why is she disappointed with me?
I think I'm done with birthday parties after this year.
They'll probably throw an even bigger one next year.
Huh? Why?
Well, you know, you're about that age, Nelly. We are a reasonably distinguished family, so there are a number of different houses that would like to have connections with us. So
what you're saying is do it for the family?
no, that's not it.
I won't date or marry anyone. I have no interest in being used as a pawn in their inter-family politics.
Pawn? I wouldn't go that far. And I'm sure Father wants to let you choose for yourself. You know, someone you actually love.
Love? I never thought I would hear you talking about love, dearest Mel. You don't even understand what makes Shakespeare's plays so beautiful, and you're talking about love.
Kind of looks like Shakespeare in that painting over there.
You fell asleep during Romeo and Juliet, and you're talking about love. We went all the way out to the Globe Theater, too.
Yep, I actually know what that is. We learned about that in drama. Well, pardon me for being so ignorant when it comes to romance and the arts. But you're not, Nelly. Shakespeare's make-believe story made you cry like a baby.
Anyone would cry at that. You'd have to be crazy to sleep through it.
That's not what I'm saying. Someone as emotionally vibrant as you, Nelly, would have no problem finding love.
Dearest Mel, we should dance.
Miss Nelly, could I have this...
Let's dance, dearest Mel.
What? Me?
Wait Come on, I really like this song.
Quit pulling on me, Nelly. What's the point of us dancing? We're siblings. Mother and father are staring daggers at us. Uh-oh. I'm pretty sure this is what triggered the tragic events that are going to happen. Their parents saw them being this way with each other, and they disapproved.
No matter. What day is it today, dearest Mel?
Your birthday.
Exactly. So I can do what I want.
I do what I want.
Now, attend to your princess as a proper prince should.
Oh, jeez. How did I get myself into this? Nellie's skirt fluttered along with her as she stepped in time to the music. She was not only a skillful singer, but a skilled dancer as well. Mel, on the other hand, fumbled his own feet trying to keep up. One would be hard-pressed to describe his dance abilities as good, even as flattery. Though boys of his pedigree were taught to dance as part of their etiquette lessons, he found himself more being dragged around by his sister. He could hardly be said to be attending to her. This is humiliating. Because his parents had been hands-off in raising him, largely giving him free rein to study and learn what he pleased, Mel looked like a tangled-up marionette. From throughout the hall, he could hear giggling, uncomfortable chuckling, and people coughing to disguise their laughter.
Come now, dearest Mel. If this is the best you can manage, what are you going to do when you find a girl that catches your eye?
I won't, so it doesn't matter.
Heh. Follow my lead, Mel. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ugh. Nellie alone enjoyed her time dancing with her brother, and quite thoroughly at that. It did not matter to her that he moved awkwardly or that the guests were giving them cold stares. It was their parents who first cracked under the pressure, just as their father was about to give an exaggerated cough and stop the music. A ruckus suddenly swelled up near the entrance.
What could that be?
Who knows? Whatever's going on, I've been spared. The music came to a stop, and the party guests began bustling. The siblings' father spoke up sternly above the noise in order to quell the spreading commotion. He ordered the servants to investigate, and had the music restarted, gave a short apology for the interruption, and set the party back on course. I went to go check on the entrance with the other servants, as I recall. Oh my, why are you looking at me like that? Hehe. These are not my memories, but those which dwell within the mansion. Do you think we should be following what happens next from my perspective, then? That is not what confused you? Well, your questions shall be answered in time. In time. Now, let us return to our tale. Though the party had fallen still for a moment, their father's decisive actions restored the guests' festive moods in short order. So it was not by any means the commotion that caused the ball to conclude earlier than planned.
Oh dear, I hear thunder.
It was rather loud, too. Sounds like we have quite the storm brewing. They lived in a country where the weather was nothing if not unpredictable. Rain was a frequent occurrence there.
The stretches of time with clear skies grew longer as summer approached, but the weather was still somewhat unstable on the cusp of the two seasons. They had a strong wind that night as well, which turned the raindrops into little spears on the window. Were the party to continue on any longer, no one would be able to go home. Although their father was quite concerned that Nellie had not gone on with any of the aristocrat boys, he decided to cut the festivities short. Well, it's storming and raining, so that does not bode well. That is the typical horror atmosphere.
Thank goodness it ended early. How lucky I am. This must be a blessing for always being such a good girl.
I'm not sure having your own birthday party cut short counts as lucky.
But it was no fun. I can't help it if I'm not enjoying myself. And for heaven's sake, Arthur was here. I have no interest in dancing with that dunce.
Arthur? Who's that again? Someone who was here?
Unbelievable. You don't remember anything, do you, dearest Nell? He came over to play a few times when we were little. He's covered in gross freckles, and he's a huge jerk. He said my hair looked like the color of fallen leaves. Fallen leaves? That just thinking about that ugly smirk has me fuming.
Falling leaves, that's an insult. I mean, I wouldn't take it as an insult, but I guess she does.
And yet he acts like nothing happened. He even calls me Miss Nellie, for goodness sakes. Are you listening, dearest Nell?
I'm listening. I wonder if the ruckus earlier was...
You weren't listening, were you? Who cares about that?
Sorry, but aren't you curious? It probably wasn't another guest, at least.
Maybe a cat sneaked in.
You think so?
I do. But enough about that. Would you like to play cards in my room, dearest Nell?
Play cards, quote-unquote. Seriously, I'm exhausted, though.
It's not even that late.
Fine. Something feels kind of off. A cat. I want to go check.
Come on, hurry up.
Hold on. You don't need to drag me, Nellie.
My birthday isn't over yet, so you're not done attending to me.
Oh, Nellie. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Death and despair. People dying when they're killed. The house in Fata Morgana. Blah.
Well, looks like Mel is going to investigate the disturbance. At least I think so. The rain just won't let up. I can't sleep. I wonder what the commotion earlier was about. Oh, for goodness sake. It's all the storm's fault. That's why I can't sleep. I'm just fretting over nothing. I'm sure Nellie was right. It was just a cat. Maybe a dog. Maybe a ghost. I can't sleep. I hardly ever have this much trouble falling asleep. What could this feeling be, I wonder? It's not quite foreboding. Walking around the house this time of night isn't going to help anything. But I'm not going to fall asleep just lying here. And as you walk through the house, there are strange noises and apparitions. The only sounds that could be heard in the dark corridors were the sharp pitter-patter of the rain, his footsteps, and his breathing. Though he was intimately familiar with the layout of the house, that night the hallways felt like an endless labyrinth veiled in shadows. No moonlight shone through the windows, so he naturally found himself moving cautiously despite being in his own residence. Keeping the palm of his hand pressed up against the chilly wall, he put one foot in front of the other. But to where was he supposed to head? Mel, of course, had no way of answering that question himself. If he had anything, it was guidance from above, the path to his destination lit by flashes of lightning. Or perhaps there was something else leading him along, like a ghost. Though he progressed with a fair bit of hesitation in his step, Mel was slowly but surely drawing nearer to one room in particular. Let me guess, he's gonna find like a torture room or some kind of a dungeon. He made his way through the seemingly endless halls. There's the portrait of Shakespeare. Past the living room, its fireplace long since cooled. Into another corridor. You gotta be kidding me. So you're meaning to tell me that, like, he's never gone out at night alone into the house, and, you know, just this once he decides to. And then he stopped outside in Abigail's bedchamber. The dim glow of a lamp spilled through the cracks in the door. A gust of wind is not necessary to make a flame flicker. A person's movements or vibrations in the air from someone speaking, the slightest of motions can cause the light of a fire to quiver. Shifting subtly as though nudged by an invisible fingertip,
The hell is that? It looks like there's something through the door, too. I can't really make it out. I can see light from inside. Oh, is she still awake? A voice. He seemed to be hesitating. It would not be difficult for him to approach the door and peer inside, but he had reservations about peeping in on another's chambers, even if it was his own even if it wasn't his own house. Moreover, this room was assigned to a woman. There was a woman behind that door. What would you do, Master, in this situation? Would you succumb to your curiosity and gaze inside? Or would you respect the owner's privacy? I shouldn't be doing this, but the voice, it feels like it's calling to me or someone else. Yes, me, could sense someone watching me at that moment. He had succumbed to his curiosity. He stood on the other side of the door from me, his flaxen eyes open wide, trying to remain as invisible as possible. The wavering in his heart seemed to create faint ripples in the air, which I pretended not to notice. Yes, he knew I was there. I could sense his presence and his wavering emotions. However, I could not begin to speculate as to his true feelings, or how great a surprise this was to him. I too am discovering new facets of this tale by viewing it through the eyes of the mansion. But it is not I who is of concern, Master. It is you. You and... Uh-oh. I know I shouldn't be doing this. I should be ashamed of myself, but I can't look away. The fuck? Who is that? Her skin. It's so pale you can practically see through it. Oh, so maybe that's the maid. I don't know. Is it that white because she was out in the cold rain? Her hair is white as snow, and her eyes, they're like, how do I describe it? My vocabulary truly lacks for situations like this. They look like blood. Blood. No, that's just disturbing. Then wine, perhaps? No, more translucent than that. Gemstones, then. Yes, gemstones. Her eyes are like rubies. I've never seen anyone like her before. What could they be talking about? Mel's eyes were fixed to the peculiar young woman. She had glass-like skin, eyes that glimmered in the flickering candlelight, and snow-white hair that flowed like luxurious silk. But her lips were bluish-purple, her soft, delicate skin sullied with grime, her twinkling eyes pointed down at the floor, and her hair a disheveled mess. She was, even at a glance, clearly not a lady of means. The tips of her fingers were cracked from the cold, and her nails pale from malnutrition, and her garb little more than rags. However, true beauty is always visible, no matter what may be hidden beneath. Even wrapped in a veil of insalubrity, I guess that's how you pronounce that, even if she thought herself hideous. I wonder what happened to her. Mel could no longer avert his gaze from the girl's visage. He had, for the time being, forgotten the shame he felt for peeping. As he strained his ears to hear the conversation taking place inside, a sickly voice arose from the white-haired girl's purple lips. So feeble was the sound that a gentle breeze blowing through the room could carry it away.
I apologize for the trouble. Think nothing of it. Give your apologies and thanks to the mistress. Understood. There is something strangely comforting about this house, almost as if I have been here before. If my father were here, I'm sure he would be quite fond of it. I'm sorry about your father. There's nothing you could have done, I imagine. When you came to our rescue, he was already...
Rescue? Father? Was that, perchance, what the commotion was about? He stared intently, entranced by the scene unfolding beyond the door. A gaze can often signal one's presence to others more effectively than words. The white-haired girl could likely sense him there as well. She flicked her gem-like eyes upward. Uh-oh. You've been found out, son. That was when the boy finally felt a pang of panic. For a split second, his flaxen eyes met her ruby eyes, causing him to recoil from the door. His heart was pounding like the rain outside. Careful not to make a sound, he took 2 steps away. Did she catch me? I'm not sure. It was only for a moment. She can't have seen me. The boy did not have the courage to peek in on the room a second time, so he cautiously returned to his bedchamber as quietly as he could manage. So things are getting kind of weird. I am liking where this is going. But even beneath his covers, he could not erase the girl's eyes from his memory. Her melancholic red irises, her voice delicate as a glass sculpture, her pale, almost lifeless skin, her pure white hair. Yep, so I'm pretty sure that he's going to fall in love with this girl. His sister is going to become really jealous, and she's probably going to kill her. I'm pretty sure that's where this is going. Every singular detail kept him from banishing her image from his mind. Nor could he restrain his heavily pounding heart. Who could she be?
Is something the matter?
No, I just thought I felt someone watching us.
It's only your imagination, I'm sure.
All right, this is the maid from the maid that's telling us about these stories. Okay, so what was her voice again?
If not your imagination, then perhaps some unseen force was watching you. Unseen force. Are you familiar with how people refer to this mansion? Rose Manor. Yes, indeed. It is called Rose Manor because you can smell the sweet fragrance of the rose garden even at a great distance. But that's not what I meant. It is sad that a witch resides within the house. A witch? I have not heard of any such stories. You probably wouldn't have. It was a very, very long time ago. Nothing you need concern yourself with. You have a peculiar presence about you.
Oh, plot twist. The maid is actually the witch.
Should I consider that a compliment? It's getting late. You should get some rest. A room has already been set aside for you. But first, may I ask you one thing? Yes? I do not believe you have given me your name yet. My name is...
Motherfucker. L? Mel? Oh, he's waking up.
Wake up!
Get up, Mel.
What? Huh? It's morning.
You disappoint me, dearest Mel. It's very much long since morning. I didn't see you at breakfast, so I came to find out what was the matter.
I've really been asleep that long.
And Father is too lenient on you, dearest Mel. Oversleeping is hardly proper behavior for a firstborn son.
No. But before that...
Yes, dearest Mel?
What are you doing in here? You can't just go prancing into a boy's bedchamber. Leave that to the servants.
I did send one for you. You're the one who refused to wake up.
Ah, so is he like Shiki? He can't wake up no matter what?
Besides, it's not like we're strangers. We used to sleep together all the time.
No! Just no. Don't go there, you. That was long ago. Things are different now.
Oh, you're overthinking it, silly. Now hurry up. Out of bed, sleepyhead.
Alright, I'm getting up. So you can see yourself out.
Oh my, you look awful, dearest Mel. For someone who overslept, you look like you didn't get a wink last night.
You think so?
You didn't go out on the town last night, did you? Naughty, naughty boy.
I would never. You know that.
You squeaked. I don't think I believe you.
I didn't go out last night or anything. I'm tired because you had me playing cards until late, Nelly.
Hey, we weren't playing for that long. Besides, look at me. I got up just fine.
Anyway, shoo. I can't get dressed with you in here.
Fine, I'm leaving.
Phew.
Oh, I almost forgot, dearest Mel.
What now?
Come on, no need to be mean. I'm sure you'll be quite surprised at the news.
Oh?
At breakfast, which you missed, Father told us.
Told you what?
Do I really want to say? It sounds like you want me out of your room, dearest Mel.
Please, Nelly.
We got a new maid today, from a house we have ties to, supposedly. I'd never seen anyone like her before. For supposedly coming from a good family, she isn't very graceful, and I've never seen her at social gatherings.
Yeah, I think it was gatherings.
But that's not the surprising part.
Does that maid...
She's peculiar. She has a very unusual appearance, that one.
Have white hair?
What? How do you know that, dearest Mel?
Uh-oh. Thanks, Nelly.
Hey, get back here. Oh, for goodness sakes, what's gotten into him? Bah!
At the time, the majority of servants at the mansion were men. However, the ladies of the house had Abigails, so there were several women servants, myself included. The maids, by and large, were selected from the daughters of other esteemed families. It was, you could say, a sort of training before they entered society. The girls would serve at homes even more powerful than their own. And the white-haired girl Mel saw the night before was such a maid. When he heard this, Mel could not sit still any longer. Oh, I didn't really think this through, did I? I don't even know where she is. I'm guessing she's probably Mother's maid. White hair. It has to be the girl from last night. But, deep down, he was having difficulty believing the young woman he had seen the previous night was truly here to be a servant. And can you blame him?
When he saw her, she was an absolute mess, hardly what you would envision from a girl of class. But he did not seek her to find out whether that was true. He merely wanted to see her once more, to ascertain whether what he had witnessed the previous night was real or his imagination. And he wanted to have an actual conversation with her. I don't want to run into Mother. That would be awkward. He was heading towards his mother's bedchamber, but the closer he drew, the heavier each step grew. He rounded a corner, debating whether or not to head back, and stopped in his tracks. On occasion, wishes do come true. When Mel turned the corner, he saw her, the same girl, the same white hair. Oh, she is a maid. She appeared to be cleaning the hallway. She traced along the wood carvings lining the walls, making certain not to miss even a speck of dust. The girl wore a pristine dress, the uniform of the mansion's Abigail's. There was no longer any filth to obscure her beauty. All that covered her pure white hair and glass-like skin was no longer. The one thing that had not changed was her listless ruby eyes. Pardon me. Hearing his footsteps, the young woman raised her head. She caught Mel's gaze and for a brief moment merely blinked at him in silence. Lord Mel, yes? Your father informed me of you.
Did he? I guess I don't need to introduce myself then. I believe she made an attempt to smile, though it was difficult to tell, and she quickly dropped her gaze back to the floor. Flax and Ruby met only for the briefest moment. I know you guys can't see it, but I just noticed this. Like, every time we get to a new section in the game, like, the name of the game on the window changes, at least the game window. Before, when Mel was going through the house at night, it said, like, the shadow in the night or something like that. And now it says, find the girl. So, that's kind of interesting how it does that. She seemed to be looking at both someone and no one at all. You are someone, yet no one at the same time.
Everyone here has truly the most beautiful color of hair. Did you have business with the mistress, Lord Mel? I can let her know if you would like.
No, I was looking for you.
For me?
Mel felt as though all the blood in his body had begun to flow backwards. He could not effectively describe the sensation, but in a word, it resembled panic. On his way to find her, Mel had come up with a number of subjects he wanted to talk about, and he generally had a little trouble speaking with others. He had less experience interacting with women, this was true, but the time he had spent around Nellie had kept him from stumbling too much. Until then. Yes, for you.
Why would you be looking for me, Lord Mel?
I was wondering how you were doing.
Pardon? I'm quite fine.
Good, that's great to hear. You fool, Mel. What are you even saying? You have more important things to ask, like where she came from, or to tell her she has pretty hair and eyes. But I don't want to trouble her too much.
Lord Mel?
Yes?
Sorry, you just suddenly fell silent. Was I, in your way?
In my way? No, not at all. What are you up to?
I'm cleaning.
Well, yeah, I didn't even need to ask. You're cleaning. Awkward. Oh, you can just let the other servants take care of the cleaning. You're one of the noble's daughters we took in, right? That's why. Then why is Mother making...
No, I'm doing this because I want to. The mistress appeared to be busy, and I could not simply be idle.
But...
I enjoy cleaning.
Well, if you say so. Say, yesterday...
This mansion is truly a thing of beauty. All the many roses in the garden, even the furnishings had a great deal of thought put into it. This family must have a wonderful sense of aesthetic.
Oh, yes, thanks. Did she just change the subject on me?
I'm delighted to have been given the opportunity to serve at such a magnificent house.
Mother and father actually had nothing to do with that, not even the garden. That's all been around since my grandfather's time. This mansion was a complete wreck when he bought it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, frankly, I'm surprised he actually paid money for it. The chandelier in the foyer was shattered and only half attached to the ceiling. Most of the decorations on the walls were broken.
I can hardly imagine. This is a marvelous, impressive house.
I'm sure he'd be flattered to hear it. My grandfather was a bit of an eccentric. He liked to do things people didn't expect just to watch the looks of surprise on their faces. He was the kind of man who would buy a mansion that was completely beyond repair just to give it a completely new life. Everyone who had seen the property before it was renovated was astonished. They regretted not taking the opportunity themselves, seeing the transformation it underwent. Hehe.
Huh?
I was just thinking that you're kind of like this house.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, when you first arrived. Oh, no, never mind.
Forget it. She'll figure out you were peeping on her, stupid. She hasn't yet, has she?
Yep, she probably knew that already anyway.
Yes. It's nothing. The more I think about it, you and the mansion aren't really comparable. Oh? The truth is, it being a rundown mess isn't the only reason nobody wanted to buy the house. They say
What the fuck was that?
that all who dwell within this house shall be met with misfortune. Do you believe it? I'm just kidding. It's not actually true. It's all rumors and hearsay, embellished to make the tale more exciting. The rumors only started because of how it used to look. If the mansion truly begot misfortune, then we wouldn't still be here. And it wouldn't explain how my grandfather died. Do you know how he passed away? No. How did he? Inside a lovely lady.
What? Ew. What? Why would you tell her that? So, like, while he was having sex or something?
What? Believe it or not, that was how he died, together with a young beautiful woman. His time ran out while he was making love to her, they say. A rather crude way to go. But he was hardly misfortunate. What'd I tell you? Ah. Yes? Just so you know, I promise I didn't inherit my grandfather's propensity for such behavior. I am pure, body and spirit, dedicated wholly to my studies, so... Hey, she left. my apologies. No, it's fine. Anyway, we were talking about the mansion, right? I've always thought it was kind of a strange place myself. That dress you're wearing, it was found here after my grandfather bought it.
Wait, so maybe if he was making love to her, like, what if she was the one that killed him? That would be a pretty weird plot twist. Or maybe somebody snuck in behind him and killed him.
You don't see that kind of design around these parts, so I'm guessing it was probably imported. The architecture is really old-fashioned too, which must have caught Grandfather's eye. When he announced his plans to buy it, the entire family opposed his decision, but he refused to budge. Renovation upon renovation gave the mansion new life, but of all of his work, he was most fond of the roses in the garden. He collected species from all around the world, and every time he got a new one, he would summon gardeners to arrange and grow them. It took incredibly long to complete. There were even some that wouldn't grow in the climate of this land, but Grandfather refused to give in. He truly loved roses. Me, I don't really get how someone could be so impassioned about them. It's just embarrassing every time someone calls this house Rose Manor. Perhaps the roses were meant for someone. What? I'm simply speculating. Roses would make wonderful gifts, after all. Indeed, they do. If you like a rose as much as Nellie, then you're welcome to go see them for yourself. Pick as many as you'd like. If anyone asks, just say I gave you permission. Don't be shy. I'm sure it'll get tiring if all you do is work. No, I'm sensitive to sunlight.
She's a vampire! I got it, she's a fucking vampire.
Oh, that's unusual. Perhaps that explains why you're so pale. I had no idea. That sounds rough. And your skin is so pretty, too. You don't seem terribly surprised. What? Oh no, I'm very much surprised. Or would you rather have preferred a more dramatic response? No, I expected you to find it disturbing. I'm sensitive to sunlight and could hardly spend any time outside. That makes me sound like some kind of demonic creature.
Maybe she has like a skin condition or something.
Oh, you worry too much. There's not a monster in the world as sweet as you.
Or maybe there... I don't know. I'm not really sure if there's supernatural stuff in this game, because if there is, maybe she is actually a demon or a vampire, and if there's not, then she just has a skin condition, probably.
Yes. Are the other maids teasing you, perhaps? The black-haired one especially, she's, how should I put it, a little frightening. Almost as if she has a steel heart or something. She's impenetrable. Right, she's one of Mother's maids too, isn't she? Now I'm even more worried. Since you refuse to follow my instructions, you are henceforth Hellspawn. I can imagine her saying that. Oh, and again. I'm very sorry. No need to apologize. In fact, I wish you'd laughed more. She's actually very kind to me, and everything she does with incredible precision and efficiency. She looks so young, and yet she has such skill. How long has she been here in the mansion? Actually, she's been here for quite some time, and I don't know exactly how long. She's immortal. No one actually knows how old she is. It's kind of creepy. I have never once considered her such. Sorry, you're right. It is bad manners to speak ill of others. Either way, she still scares me. It's like there's no light in her eyes, or like her smiles are all faked. That doesn't make her any less pretty, though. And awkwardness. Ah, the conversation died. I have to think of something else to talk about. Oh, yes, you can ask me anything. Does the master, your father, Lord Mel, often retire from the mansion? I have not seen him around. Oh, yeah, father frequently returns home. The mansion is actually our secondary house. Why do you ask, though? I was just curious, nothing more. Yes, what is it? God, this is so weird. One of the maids asked to see me, so I should be on my way, if you'll excuse me. What? Alright, see you later then. Goodbye. Oh, right, one moment. Since you are sensitive to sun, I can pick some roses from time to time for you. For you to decorate your room. Lord Mel? That's all. Sorry for holding you up. Why am I so bad at this? She definitely thinks I'm obnoxious. I want to hide under a rock. I want to reverse time and try this over again.
And you should go back through time like this guy, or like the guy who's watching this is doing.
Roses are not becoming of me. He is too kind.
Far too kind. Too kind for his own good.
Every time that song plays, it's just more and more creepy.